Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election held in Nigeria on February 25, 2023. The result of that election was controversially announced on March 1st, 2023, and the outcome of that result was challenged at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, where the tribunal recently gave its verdict, and the petitioner is not satisfied, and most Nigerians not satisfied. The matter is now moving to the Supreme Court, where it will be decided. But while we are on it, while Nigerians are waiting for what the Supreme Court will say, Bola Ahmed Tinubu have been running the country since May 29, 2023, and he has just celebrated his 100 days in office. Now that his 100 days in office is, in reality, it's 100 days of Nigeria moving from frying pan to fire. It's 100 days of mitigated disaster, unmitigated disaster that could have been avoided if the right thing was done. And why did I say that he moved Nigeria from frying pan to fire? First of all, it is good for us to realize where we are coming from. Remember the situation of Nigeria before Bola Ahmed Tinubu emerged. Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, the ruling party as at the time the election took place on February. The state of the country at that time was the reason why majority of Nigerians voted against the All Progressive Congress. At the time the election took place, Nigeria's economy was in a dire strait. Unemployment rate was at the rate of over 33%. Inflation was over 22%. Insecurity was at its worst. In fact, over 70,000 Nigerians were killed under the administration of the APC between 2015 and 2023. Even the home state of the then incumbent president, President Muhammad Buhari, his home state of Katsina, had about 9 local governments that were under the control of the bandits. All parts of the country, no part of the country was exempted from insecurity, from the southeast to north central, to northeast, to southwest. Insecurity bedeviled the country from every direction. Nigeria was literally crawling on its knees, and Nigerians voted for change, wanted a change. That was why, with the INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission, promising electronic transmission of results, it galvanized many people who now believe that the election cannot be rigged, cannot be manipulated by the election riggers, who are well entrenched in the All Progressive Congress and the main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party. So it was an opportunity for a new arrangement. That is why you see the popularity of the Labour Party. It was new in terms of those who presented themselves from that platform. So the Nigerians wanted a change. Nigerians voted for change. But that change was aborted in the sense that INEC failed to follow its guidelines, its rules and regulations. As he said, he promised electronic transmission. If INEC had told Nigerians, if INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, had told Nigerians the time that Festus Okoye and Professor Mahmoud Yakubu was running all over the place promising electronic transmission, they had told Nigerians that electronic transmission is optional, most Nigerians will not even bother to go and register. Most Nigerians will not bother to even show interest in the election. but they literally deceive Nigerians. They con Nigerians. Con men couldn't do any better than what they did to Nigerians, deceiving them that they are going to do electronic transmission of results, deceiving them that they have with technology they have sorted out all the issue of election rigging that have been a problem since 1999. Unfortunately, Nigerians bought into their what they sold, the lies that they sold as truth, and at the end of the day, we are now hearing from them that the election transmission of results is an optional. INEC can transmit anyhow it like. Can use manual, can do anyhow, can transmit it as he thought fit. And now this Presidential Election Petition Tribunal has also sealed that until we see what the Supreme Court will say about it. So that the state of Nigeria when Bola Ahmed Tinubu was campaigning. The country was in dire strait. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu, despite all these bad indices against the Buhari administration, never condemned the administration. In fact, he was campaigning that he will build on the legacies of that administration. That he will build on the legacy of the Buhari administration. He is yet to apologize tonight. It is now that he's trying to move himself away from it, from some of the policies and programs of that administration. But even at that, he has not shown anything different dramatically to make the society and the economy better. That is why the economy has gotten worse under him than under Buhari. And that is what we are going to look at as we assess his 100 days in office. Because it is important that we assess it so that Nigerians are not deceived by politicians. We have to assess it because they are already giving themselves pass mark, and those who promote them want the whole country to believe that what is happening in the country right now under his leadership is the best thing to have happened to Nigeria since sliced bread, or the best thing to have happened to the world since sliced bread. So we're going to look at the things as it were and not as they want some people to believe. First of all, insecurity had gotten worse under Tinubu's administration in the last 100 days. In the last 100 days, over 600 people have been killed, including over 30 soldiers in Niger State by terrorists. Terrorists, non-state actors, all kinds of insecurity under his leadership. And if he goes by these statistics of killing in the last 100 days continues, the record on the number of Nigerians killed under his leadership, if the Supreme Court sustain it, well, will make Buhari's killings under Buhari looks like a child's play. That is what it is. That's the record. That's the record. If he continues in this dimension, 600 people killed with 30 soldiers in Niger State alone in 100 days, it can only get worse if the Supreme Court sustain him. That is the way it is. That is the verdict. So it is important that people also get to know this side of the situation. So in terms of security, he has failed Nigerians like the Buhari administration. So he has not been able to provide any remedy whatsoever. You can go to Plateau State alone and go and count the number of people that have been killed in Plateau State in the last 100 days. Go to Plateau State, go to Benue State, go to Taraba State and count. Plateau State alone, Plateau State alone have not gotten respite in 100 days of Tinubu's administration. So that is the verdict that they don't want you to hear, that the media are not going to tell you about. And they won't tell you. It's only in channels like this where we objectively look at the situation of things that you can get this kind of report. Okay? Then, as I said earlier on, the economy that Tinubu inherited was an economy in dire straits. No doubt about it. But Tinubu never condemned that economy when he was campaigning. In fact, he claimed that he's going to build on that economy. But we all know that the economy was in a terrible shape. And that was why Nigerians wanted a change. But Tinubu at the time never condemned that economy, never see anything wrong with that economy, never complain about anything wrong with that economy. He was flowing with that economy. And every opportunity he was sitting with Buhari and in the campaign trail, he was always saying it, that Mr. President, I'm going to build on your legacy. We're going to build on your legacy. That's the fact. He said he will build on the legacy of Buhari, despite the fact that the economy was in a bad shape. We have a runaway inflation of over 22%. And now, where did Tinubu himself put the state of Nigerian economy since May 29? Inflation is over 30%. Forget about what MBS will tell you now. Inflation in Nigeria is over 30%. Ask those who pay money for transportation. Ask those who buy fuel. Ask those who hire tractors to till their land for them. Ask those who have any reason to use energy from fuel to power anything. Ask those who took goods, agri-produce, from the rural areas to the urban centers, from the farms to the rural markets, from the rural markets to the urban markets. Ask them. Inflation is over 30%, and that's why the Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Forget about what MBS may tell you, National Bureau of Statistics. Don't believe them. Trust your own, because you are the one that pays from your pocket. You are the one that pays from your sweat. Nobody can give you any data that is better than what your pocket is telling you. It's over 30%. Inflation in the last 100 days is over 30%. And it's still climbing. And it's going to climb even more, because already the price of fuel, of crude oil, is about $89 per barrel. And when that happens, it will reflect in the pockets of Nigerians, because it means the price of fuel has to go up, since there is no more subsidy, as they claim. It means that whatever happens in the international market will reflect in the purse of Nigerians, and sending poverty, spreading it all over. and making things worse for all Nigerians. So that is the reality. That is what is going on. That is the fact of the matter. Inflation over 30%. Nobody who is living in Nigeria can dispute that. If you are deceiving, if you doubt that, you are not sincere with yourself. Or you come and tell us the market where you buy your goods and services, or you tell us where your children goes to school. How much is the school fees under Bola Ahmed Tinubu? How much is it before May 29? So everything has gone up. Inflation has hit the roof, and it can only get worse from all indications. Now, as at the time Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over on May 29, as at May 1st, as at May 28th, 2023, US dollar to naira is about 400 naira, 461 naira. That's at the official window to the dollar. 461 naira to the dollar. Right now, at the official window, is hovering 700 naira to the dollar. In the black market, it's getting to 950 naira to the dollar. And if you go, sometimes under Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, even it got to the point where the naira to the dollar got to the level where it was over 1,000 naira to the dollar. But as I talk to you now, it has, in the black market, still hovering 900 and something. So what has this done? It has worsened the economic situation in the country. It has spread more poverty to the country. That is why when we say that Tinubu has taken Nigeria from frying pan to fire, we are not wrong. Because that has worsened the situation of Nigerians. Because look at it, Nigeria is an import-dependent country. Nigeria is a nation that imports virtually everything that it uses. So when you allow the currency to be floated, as what Bola Ahmed Tinubu have done, free float, floating the economy, it means that you have left supposedly the economy rate, the rate of Nigeria's currency to be determined by forces of demand and supply. And look at where it had landed Nigerians. People are suffering. So at that rate of official window, and even at the unofficial window, you can see that dollar is not cheap in Nigeria in any shape or form. And what it had done is to worsen the economic situation in the last 100 days of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. He has succeeded in worsening the situation in the country. And those who used to eat 2 times in a day now eat once a day. Those who used to go to work, for those who still have work to do, they trek long distances to go to work. For those who don't even have work at all, they stay at home. They can't even afford to go out to go and look for work because they can't afford to pay the transportation necessary to move from point A to point B. So that is the situation of the country. And look at the price of fuel, what it is today. Compare the price of fuel on May 28, 2023, to the price of fuel today in September. The price of fuel has increased by over 300%. And you expect that not to have impact in the assessment of the Tinubu administration. Of course it has to, because it has the center of what is happening in the country. For a country including the small-scale industries, small-scale business, small and medium-scale industries, does not have access to power. Many of them, like the barbing salon, hairdressing salons, what have you, they rely, even those who make waterproofs and who make waterproofs and all kinds of things, they need just small generators that they use in powering all those place things. They cannot be able to do it. They cannot be able to do it. They can't be able to do it. It's a fact. I know people that are into the business of making these small envelopes and all that, which they use in selling medicine. They can't do it without power. It's unfortunate, but that's the situation. So a country that don't have power and people rely on generators, and you have increased the price of fuel by over 300%. What are you expecting? Is for you to make things worse for them. It is for you to worsen their situation. They don't have access to power. Even in the terms of power, when the top power is available, the power companies are increasing the tariffs as they wish. And while that was happening, you're also having the challenge that you cannot afford the price of fuel. And you are telling them in the past 100 days that Aswad has performed wonderfully, that things are going to get better. How is it going to get better? When is it going to get better? Under their when they are all dead or their businesses are dead already, many businesses have closed. Many small scale businesses have closed all over the world. Small and medium scale enterprises are the backbone of economic development. They are the backbone of lifting people from poverty to prosperity. Now that are being killed by the policies of the past 100 days of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So it is important that people realize this and know that what they are being told, the El Dorado they are wishing will come, is not any time in the horizon, because those who are leading have not shown that they are doing anything different from those they took over from. That was why many Nigerians wanted a radical change from the past so that the country can renew itself, the country can begin to rebuild. But as for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as he said, he's going to build on the legacy of Buhari. I think he has continued building on that. And the results is not palatable. Okay? The results is not palatable to Nigerians. And that is not all. If you look at the issue of palliative, initially when he removed the subsidy, there was an outcry because he removed the subsidy without any provision for palliatives. Because if he had any, he would have announced it the day he announced the removal of the subsidy. Because of the outcry by Nigerians, he now came up with a palliative of 8,000 naira to 12 million families. Of course, there was an outcry. Then they rolled back that policy. Now they are sharing 5 billion to states. Even other people are crying out. We have seen a situation where a bag of rice is being given to a whole world. We have seen trending videos of half bag of palliative as the portion of a ward. in a local government. You ask yourself, how many cups can families get from a bag of rice in a ward? Even if that bag of rice was specifically given to APC supporters, as being alleged, supposing it was so, how many people will even get it? How many, how can they be able to feed a family? Can they be able to feed a family? In a war, you are giving them a bag of rice. In a war, you are giving them a bag of rice as palliative. How is that going to help them? What it means that you have now took them from frying pan to fire. You have worsened their situation because many of them on their own, they could be able to afford more than a cup of rice, more than a mudu of rice, but they struggle to get that. But their own government, in alleviating their poverty, in alleviating their suffering as a result of fuel subsidy removal, their own government is giving them a cup of rice because that is what an average person is likely to get in a world where you give them only one bag of rice. How much, what quantity do you think a family could get and it will sustain them? That is the reality. So there are so many things, and in no particular order, I'm giving you all this so that you realize that any hope that there is any respite coming from the way they are doing things now is not going to work. And one of the things they are doing now is disinformation. Let me give you a typical of their disinformation. They are demonizing the former central bank governor. They accused that man of borrowing money. The way they mention his borrowing money, you would think that MFL will just walk to World Bank, walk in and just collect money. He has nobody supervising him. They accuse him of borrowing money to stabilize the naira. They accuse him. That's what I accuse him. It's one of the things they have against him, that he messed up the economy. He was borrowing to stabilize the naira. He was borrowing to shore up the naira. Ask them what they are doing now, which they are not telling Nigerians. They borrowed $3 billion through the NNPC, which is no different from Buhari administration borrowing money abroad from banks through MFL, through through the CBN. Sorry, it's not MFL, through the CBN. Perhaps they are embarrassed to send the CBN to go and borrow. Now they sent NNPC to go and borrow on their behalf. And they are using it. And then NNPC said that they will use it to shore up the naira. What is the business of NNPC in shoring up the naira? It is the responsibility of the CBN. But in that kind of thing, they want to make themselves different from the last administration without actually succeeding, for those of us who observe the situation. But because of the misinformation going on, and because the mainstream media are not telling you about this, the mainstream media are not telling Nigerians what is happening in the country. So something that ought to be trending are not trending. You say that you floated the naira so that demand and supply will determine the value of the naira. Why do you have to go and borrow $3 billion to show up the naira? Of course, people are not deceived. Already people have done, some experts have done calculation on it. Even the $3 billion can only be able to sustain naira not less than 6 months. Then they have to go and look for another place to borrow. Perhaps they will not announce that one, since people like us are always paying attention. They will secretly borrow to show up the naira. The same thing that Emefiele did that they say was wrong. Which, if Emefiele had not done so, trying to save the naira, naira would have crumbled a long time ago, as it is doing right now. Right now, even despite the spirited effort to save the naira with the $3 billion. So that's some of the misinformation going on. They want to be different from Buhari without being different. And the media, the mainstream media, they are not paying attention. They don't want people to know about this. So it is a very terrible situation that Nigeria and Nigerians have been put through in the past 100 days that Bola Ahmed Tinubu have been in charge of the country. And what I'm telling you, these are reality. You can go to the street and ask the average Nigerian how he's feeling, except for those of them who are in government or benefiting from government. There is virtually no Nigerian that is smiling. The only people, even those who are praising them on social media and elsewhere, when they only praise them on social media, when they go back to their normal self, they pass through what every Nigerian is passing through. They are struggling to pay their children's school fees. They are struggling to pay their bills. They are struggling to fuel their cars. They are struggling to be able to survive. That is the reality. And the struggle they put today is much more than they did under Buhari. We never believed that we can have an administration that Nigerians will look to Buhari administration and say, we had it better under Buhari. But strangely, in less than, in barely 100 days after Buhari left office, people are already remembering Buhari with nostalgia. Some people already remembering his regime with nostalgia. They are comparing the price of bread under Buhari with the price of bread under Tinubu. They are comparing the mudu of rice under Buhari with the mudu of rice under Tinubu. They are comparing a mudu of beans under Buhari with a mudu of beans under Tinubu. They are comparing the price of a gallon of oil, red oil, under Buhari with a gallon of oil under Tinubu. And the verdict is not palatable. It is a verdict that have shown clearly that Tinubu has taken Nigerians from frying pan to fire in the last 100 days. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.